Okay, something big came across my desk recently, so I googled the heck out of it to see if it was true. No way. So like any good failed journalist, I hit the road to find out if this was true. I went straight to the source.
But I didn't come here just to see the city and its wild culture. I came here today because I wanted to show you something unbelievable. But not like any of the tourist stuff or the regular German things. No, but something like really crazy. And something that's just been hidden in plain sight. Yeah. Okay. I know it doesn't look like anything special, but what if I told you that this shitty looking building on this shitty looking street was once the bachelor's pad for the most infamous person to have ever lived? Yeah. This right here, this is the tiny apartment of Okay. I know what many of you are probably thinking. This couldn't have been his real apartment. And with that, you're kind of right. See, this was actually only his first stay when he arrived to Munich. If we want to find his real hidden apartment, we're gonna have to travel to another side of town, a much more posh side of town.
There they go.
So this is me on a creepily detailed map of Munich. I started here at his first apartment, but on the way over to the real one, I was tipped off.
So before we get to the real hidden forgotten apartment, there's something equally crazy that I think you're gonna want to see.
This brutal looking building here, it shows up in many pictures, and although it does stand out, what many people don't realize, this was his office.
So, it was right here in this music school where Hitler worked on some of his most heinous plans, all the while hosting some of his various friends. So yeah, I did try and walk in, but as you may have heard, they're pretty tight on security, so not today. I was about to start heading over to his real hidden apartment, but then I noticed something interesting, something maybe really worth pointing out.
If you look up at his balcony, you'll notice there appears to be some facade damage just up there, as if something big was hanging there, but now it's missing. So I started doing some digging, and lo and behold, this was the exact spot right above his balcony where the giant bird once perched. But yeah, the Nazis didn't actually invent this eagle, but rather borrowed parts of it from the Romans or other ancient cultures.
Yeah, absolutely crazy that the pins or the damaged facade is still right there. Like, okay, but now it's time to head over to the real forgotten or hidden apartment that's been hiding in plain sight for almost 100 years. Let's go. Okay, so we're now here in Bogenhausen, Munich's most prestigious residential area for the wealthy and elite people.
So if I had to guess where the leader of the Axis powers would set up shop, it would be somewhere like this. Right here, I am now standing on Hitler's front doorstep in the exact spot where he actually stood. This is crazy. But if the apartment is right here, and it appears to be in really good condition, who in their right mind would buy an apartment from the most evil man in history.
Polizeiinspektion 22 hat Hallo.
Hello, is English okay?
Yeah, English is okay.
Hey.
What's the problem?
No problem. I'm just doing a small little documentation film, and I was wondering if I could maybe ask you some questions about the building?
Just wait a second.
Yeah, for sure. No problem.
Okay, at this point, this is completely off script. I did not expect them to let me in the front door. I certainly didn't expect to be walking up his stairs. And I did not imagine for a second that I would be walking into his front foyer. At this point, I have no idea why I'm even here. Can I ask questions? Am I allowed to film? Am I even allowed to be here? I'm panicking.
Yeah, okay, so pretty crazy. I was just inside Hitler's apartment building, but yeah, I didn't actually expect them to let me all the way in because there's some pretty good reasons why.
So, after the war, this apartment, along with several other former Nazi sites, were rightfully turned into police stations. The authorities did it to strategically strip away the Nazi symbolism and basically prevent it from becoming a rallying point for future sympathizers.